The Italian America show is sponsored by Full Sponsorship, Cento Fine Foods, trust your family with our family. The Bianchi Law Group, Dr. K, the management professor, the authors of the #1 international best-selling cookbook, Don't Cut the Basil, Dr. Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The Grand Lodges from the following states: New York, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland. Long Shot Productions, get back in the game. ACMT, Excellence in Aerospace Manufacturing. Welcome to the Italian America Show. I'm Lisa Marie Falbo. Joining me here is my co-host, Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President of Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. How you doing, Mark?
Great, Lisa Marie. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. And today, our guest of honor is Pam Arciero, a puppeteer and voiceover artist who is best known in the Muppet world for her role on Sesame Street as Oscar the Grouch's girlfriend, Grundgetta. Pam, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. My pleasure. My honor to be talking to all of Italy. Italian Americans, not
Italy, America, we got it all here. Pam, thank you so much. So let's start with your early life. You were born in Hawaii, which is so cool. I've never talked to anybody that hailed from Hawaii before,
Right.
So it really is an honor. You were born before it was a state, and then you eventually ended up and are still in Connecticut. Talk to us about all of that.
Well, I was born and raised in Honolulu. My dad got to Hawaii during World War II, and he married a local girl who was basically Hawaiian and Japanese. And I'm the result, so I'm Italian, Hawaiian, and Japanese, just a real mix-up. And like a lot of us in Hawaii are, that's what we do. And I went to University of Hawaii. I have an undergraduate degree from there. And then I found puppetry. A man named Kermit Love came to teach at the university, and I was gone. This is what I wanted to do. This is who I needed to be. So I then wanted to continue, and my mom and dad didn't want me just to fly off to New York by myself from Hawaii. So they said, well, go to school. And there was a graduate program at the University of Connecticut. So I went there. I have a graduate degree in puppetry from the University of Connecticut, and then I auditioned for the Muppets, and suddenly here I am some 38 years later, still here doing Sesame Street. So
what a story. By the way, your first teacher was named Kermit?
Yes, Kermit Love was one of the builders of Big Bird and the designer and builder of the Snuffleupagus. He built very large body puppets, and he came to teach the summer session at University of Hawaii. And I'm kind of blessed because I got the chance to go back and teach the exact class that I took 30 years later. I went back and taught that class for a number of years at the university, and got other people interested in this bizarre art form that I love so much,
What attracted you to puppetry?
I was a singer, actress, dancer, mostly dancer. And puppetry combines all of those things. And I was also a maker. I like to make things. I like to build puppets, and I'd sew clothes and costumes and all of that stuff. So puppetry is all of that. You have to dance, really, you have to study movement and how to move a character so it's believable. You have to sing, and you have to do voices. So that's all the acting. And then you make them to boot, so, we're all Geppettos. So it was the perfect art form for me. That was just it,
Yeah. Mark?
Yes, Pam, again, thanks for joining us. Great to have you on. Tell us a little bit about your Italian heritage, please.
Well, my dad was through and through Italian, and he was actually, I found out once I went to the University of Connecticut, he was born right outside the University of Connecticut, and he grew up in Waterbury, Connecticut, where there was a large Italian community. And then when he went into the army, he ended up in Hawaii. So a lot of our Italian connection, my grandmother would come, my lovely grandmother, Mary DeSantis Arciero, would come, and she would come maybe every 10 years. Because remember, in those days, it was a huge deal to get to Hawaii. And she would come and she would just cook for us. And we were all so amazed at the food you could make, because in Hawaii, we weren't getting real Italian food when I was a kid, Maybe there was Chef Boyardee, but
that's not real Italian food.
Of course not, so she really delighted us all. And then I think there's such a huge similarity between Italian and Hawaiian cultures, in the way that family is so important, and the way that food is so important, and it's a form of love for you. If I love you, I'm going to cook for you, and you better eat my food. So I think that the Italian and Hawaiian cultures blended so well together, that's how we grew up. When I married a wonderful Italian man, and of course, nobody marries a person, you marry a family. So my Italian family here on the East Coast are Lanzas, and they took me in, and we just meshed immediately. It was like I came home to this big Italian family, 5 boys in my husband's family. And I spent every holiday, we had Sunday dinner every Sunday for about 15 years. And then my mother-in-law got sick, and I continued. We had Sunday dinner every Sunday, 2:30 dinner, the whole 9 yards. I continued that until she passed away about 3 years ago.
Oh,
So maybe it was 2 years ago, but so that became a part of our family life, sort of some of that traditional Italian culture, totally into my family, 100%, from Hawaii or not,
How many children do you have?
I have 2 boys. They're 28 and 32 now.
They must have been the cool kids in kindergarten, right? With their mother being Sesame Street.
Well, kind of, but it's the thing, it's your mom. So what do you care, right? Yeah, we know Big Bird, big deal. That's kind of what it became. And of course, they were kind of, by 2nd grade, Sesame Street is baby stuff. So you're not going to, brag about that anymore. They came back around, of course, as teenagers. They realized, once they started getting into theater and doing stuff, and oh yeah, this is pretty cool.
Do you add parts of your personality to Grungetta?
Yeah, I mean, every character you do comes from some part of you, right? There's no way to do a character, make it believable and appealing if it doesn't come from some part of your heart, really, I think. So she does come from a place, being cranky, but her heart is very loving. She just manifests her attitude right out there. And she's basically just completely honest. She's not going to hold back on anything. Totally not me, but I'll hold back a million times and never say, but if something's really wrong, it takes forever for me to get there. But she's like, nope, that's the wrong statement. I am not saying that at all.
I'm so happy you brought the voice out, because I was going to ask you to do a little Grundgetta, but here we are.
Yeah, right.
I love
Oscar
it.
and I, let me just say right out front, Oscar and I are not married. We have separate cans. I have my own condominium. Got it?
What's the secret to my famous margarita pizza? Fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and cento.
People ask my wife, what's the secret to your bolognese?
A little of this, a pinch of that, and cento. Grandma passed on 2 family secrets. Saute, don't fry,
and always cook with cento.
It's no secret that the best tasting dishes use cento, San Marzano tomatoes imported from Italy, with nothing added, just authentic flavor for authentic Italian cooking. Cento, trust your family with our family.
It's an immense honor to be here.
I just think that this gala is such a great opportunity for kids all around the country.
And this means so much to me on an even deeper level.
You're helping a lot of young kids.
Hoorah! Thank you for this Lifetime Achievement Award.
I thank you very much, and I'm very honored.
May God bless you all.
Thank you for thinking I'm worthy of this.
We can sing in the glow of a song that I know of, where love is enjoy, peace of mind.
The Commission for Social Justice, CSJ, is the anti-defamation and positive image arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The CSJ conducts campaigns at both community and national levels that support cultural and social issues of importance to Italian Americans, including the preservation of Columbus Day and his legacy. For more information on the CSJ or to donate, contact us today.
So wait, you were on the ground floor of Sesame Street.
Well, in a way, I went in, the first time I walked on the set was season 13. I didn't get hired till season 15. So not quite, I mean, the early guy, you know, Jim Henson was alive and all those guys were, all the puppeteers, the old timey puppeteers were still alive, still working. So I worked with them for about 8 years. Jim died about 8 years after I joined the company.
And the world has expanded so much in its 55th year.
Yeah, there's been so many challenges in terms of us trying to comfort children through the COVID crisis. And then the diversity issues, making, you know, Sesame Street was always diverse. We always, our big thing was diversity. But even more so now, we're trying to be very sensitive to those issues. And we do a lot of different shows about health and who you are and having respect for yourself and your community.
You know, it walks a fine line though, right? Because some parents want to shield their children away from all of that. They don't want to bring the real life in. And then a lot of parents, they make it a point to introduce those stuff. So talk about how difficult that is for you and the producers.
I think it has been a challenging time for us to keep that boundary clear. But on the other hand, you know, what we're doing is educating kids, and education does mean bringing the outside world in. And so we're not, if you really don't want your kids to learn, I mean, it's not like we're teaching them anything, I don't know, controversial really, except we really teach kindness. Smarter, stronger, kinder is our you know, motto for the last few years.
Have they ever celebrated Columbus Day on Sesame Street?
I don't think we've ever done that, but we don't celebrate many holidays. That's sort of not part of our curriculum. You know, like I think they did one maybe Christmas show a really, really long time ago. I mean, literally, that's the kind of, maybe we've done that. We don't do a holiday show every year. We don't, you know, that's sort of not the purview, but it would have been fun.
You're active in other artistic endeavors. Could you tell us about those? Please?
Yeah, actually, I am the artistic director of the National Puppetry Conference at the Eugene O'Neill Theater Center. And that's, we pull it together. I bring artists in to teach other puppeteers how they do their art, how to be in the room when it happens, you know. Being creative, it's a really challenging time to figure out how you can do this. And also puppeteers, we tend to work alone a lot. So it's a place where you can come together with other people, meet your kind, understand how to build stuff together. So that's a really wonderful part of my life. And I've been doing that for 30 years. And it's very exciting, developing new work, new live theater, sometimes new films. It's just been a great gift to do. I also direct the live walk around shows for Sesame Street, which are the big characters, you know, like, and so in fact, I'm leaving in a couple of weeks to go to Jamaica. I put shows in Turks and Caicos for the beaches resorts. I'll go in and put a show in. We're doing a Halloween show for that. Speaking of, that is a holiday that they have done. Yeah. But for the resorts, it is a different thing because it's a live show and you have kids sitting there and it's Halloween. What are you going to do with them?
How popular is Sesame Street in Italy?
In Italy, you know, I don't even, I think it's a fairly minor program there. I don't think it's a huge program in Italy. I think they just kind of slide over the Spanish one and, you know, dub it. So it's interesting. There's so many. I have a very good friend, lots of friends who do Italian festivals there, and they keep asking me, and it keeps being at the wrong time. I'm dying to go to just because there's great puppet traditions in Italy. There's a million Italian families who are Italian family puppeteers. And this one friend of mine, they have been puppeteers for 750 years in Italy.
Oh.
Wow.
Her family, she can trace back 750 years of her family doing puppet shows.
I mean, Pinocchio, right? I mean, talk about
Pinocchio.
maybe some of the history of puppetry in Italy, because this is really interesting. I don't know anything really about it.
A lot of it, you know, puppetry sort of went underground for a few hundred years because the church wasn't allowing entertainment in that way. And the word marionette, the only thing they would allow, they weren't allowing actors for a certain period of time in the Middle Ages. But they would allow the nativity plays. So marionette means little Mary, right? And that's where the name of the puppet comes from, is from marionette, because that they were allowed to do those shows with little Mary and a little Jesus, and they could do it. And that was how actors toured from town to town to town during the Middle Ages. And the tradition never went away, really. I mean, it just continued. Commedia dell'arte sort of came out of that, and they put actors in masks. The Italian masks tradition is amazing, you know, the beautiful masks that you see in Italy. And that has continued to this day. There's a great mask tradition there. There's, you know, so much of theater came out of Italy.
You have a lot of characters behind you that, although is that Blue from Blue's Clues?
It is.
Okay, so you have that.
My company, there was a couple of seasons we did a thing called Blue's Clues, Blue's Room, where the characters from Blue's Clues were puppets, so they were 3D. So it was kind of the same thing. We had Joe, not Steve, and this is Polka Dots is Blue's little best friend, and she ran around too. Right there in the middle is from Between the Lions. I was Leona Lion on that television show, which was on for quite a few years. And this is just somebody I do, someone I made, friend made for me, a character I do. You know, sometimes you just have to have a nondescript character to go in, not a famous one, right? Because Leona really belongs to Between the Lions, and that really belongs to Blue's Room. So I can't really just take it out and do it. So this is my buddy, Ben, who goes out with me, and we talk to kids about all kinds of stuff, depending on what the needs are. So that's kind of what we do. And this is my studio where I build puppets and rehearse. You'll see a tripods back there. I rehearse in front of the camera. An interesting thing about television puppetry is that you really have to practice all the time. I've been doing it for 40 years and I still practice.
What's the hardest thing that you find?
Well, you know, we are very specific about lip sync in the Muppet style, and the Jim Henson style is very clean. You have to get the lip sync exactly right. And then the second thing is focus. You have to make sure the puppet is looking where you want it to look. And that and we work backwards, right? The monitor is backwards, everything is flipped. So when you go this way, you go this way. And so getting all of that together in your head while reading lines, while remembering your lines, while acting, while picking things up, it's very complicated all the time. And it's physically demanding. Sometimes we work on our feet, your arms are over your head the whole time. Sometimes we work crouching, sitting on the floor, and we scoot along on these little scooters.
What's the secret to my famous margarita pizza? Fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and cento.
People ask my wife, what's the secret to your bolognese?
A little of this, a pinch of that, and cento. Grandma passed on 2 family secrets. Saute, don't fry,
and always cook with cento.
It's no secret that the best tasting dishes use Cento, San Marzano tomatoes imported from Italy, with nothing added, just authentic flavor for authentic Italian cooking. Cento, trust your family with our family.
Join the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America's New York Grand Lodge and celebrate your Italian pride. You'll be one of thousands representing the Italian American community in New York State. Members enjoy a variety of community, cultural, charitable, educational, and civic activities geared toward preserving and promoting our proud Italian heritage. For more information on how to join, please visit nysosaya.org or call 1-800-322-6742.
My name is Bob Bianchi. I'm the National President of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, the largest and oldest Italian-American organization in the United States, with also lodges in Canada and Italy. It's my great honor to preside over the Supreme Lodge as the National President and also as the Chairman of the Board to our two arms of the organization, the Sons of Italy Foundation, which has donated tens of millions of dollars for charities, scholarships, veterans, and all sorts of positive causes, as well as the other arm of the organization, which is the Commission for Social Justice. That's our anti-discrimination and positive image arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. It is a great organization to be involved in. With an Italian flair, you can help contribute to your community, to our veterans causes, to all of our charities, to the scholarships, and be part of a great organization that does such great work. All you gotta do is go to www.osia.org and join the party. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
The Sons of Italy Foundation is the philanthropic arm of the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. It was founded in 1959 with the purpose of preserving Italian-American culture, encouraging educational excellence among Italian Americans, and assisting in other areas such as veterans causes and disaster relief. To date, the Sons of Italy Foundation has given tens of millions of dollars to these efforts. For more information on the foundation or to donate, contact us today.
Are there any special preparations that you do before you perform?
A lot of times Grundgetta is very high, so I sing a lot in the morning. Her voice can be a little hard on your throat if you're not ready for it. I do tend to work out and stretch out every morning because you can't, jumping up and down, the knees start to, because you're squatting way down and then you're standing up and you're reaching one, having a puppet move up in a scene, starting at the bottom, and you have to move, and the camera moves with you. You got to keep standing up. It's physically, yeah. So every day I pretty much do that before I get in the car and drive for an hour. It's just, it's a challenge. And
now, say your voice is gone or you're just having a bad day. Is there a Grundgetta understudy?
No. If you're sick, sometimes someone else will perform your puppet for you, but you go back and dub the voice. Okay. The voice is so specific. And when you hear the wrong voice on a puppet, it if you know the puppet, right? If it's Ernie and it doesn't sound like Ernie, you're going to go, what is that? That's not Ernie, so it's very hard to get an exact voice match of anything. So someone else would do the puppet and you'll just go in later and dub the lines over and try and match. But it's much better to do it live because the relationship and the chemistry and the acting and the timing all just is so much better if you can do it live. That's just key to our company, I think, is the chemistry and the relationships we have with each other. It's really fun.
Pam, where can we find you on the web?
I am on Facebook and I'm on Instagram at Pam Arciero. You can find those, their pictures and stuff. I don't have a website because I'm, kind of old school. I just I don't know.
You don't need one. You're it.
I don't need one. I don't really need one, and I wouldn't keep it up. And so it'd be pictures from 1954 or something. No, I don't have a web presence in that way. I'm kind of below the frame in that we call ourselves below the frame because normally you never see us. This is what you see, right? This is so below the frame on my web presence too, but Instagram at Pam Arciero, I do pictures, and Facebook and LinkedIn. You can find me on that too.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
That's all we need. So my last question is, off camera, we were talking about how many years ago, while I worked at Kaufman Astoria Studios, I was fortunate enough to go on the tour, because so many great institutions are in that building, Law and Order, WFAN at the time, which I worked for, obviously you guys. Are tours coming back now?
We haven't so
post-COVID?
far. I mean, COVID
No.
has really shut everything down. And what you're doing a tour with a group of children and that kind of, it's pretty iffy. I don't think it'll be back for another year or so before we can actually talk about bringing people in. And it's been completely closed sets. Like even my family can't come in, has not been able to come in the last 2 seasons at all, because it's just, if someone gets sick, it kills the shooting schedule. We're super careful.
Was there a COVID-19 episode that you did?
They did an outreach on CNN. Yes, there was an outreach about taking care of yourself in COVID. And you're right, that was a little controversial because we were recommending vaccinations.
Yo, I remember that. Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Elmo
Like-
got vaccinated and people were horrified, but the science is the science.
Yeah.
So, and now it seems like such a, now that it seems so passé, right? You don't even think about that being such a big issue anymore, but that was for a bit. Yeah. So we did that a little, that was quite a thing.
Well, when the tours are open, I will bring, Liana will be about 3 when you predict the tours will be open. So I will be giving you a call. Mark, you're going to have to fly up with Leo.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take the tour of Sesame Street with Pam.
That would be great. Leo would love it. I would love it too.
I would love it. Oh, Mark and I were like big kids, so we'll love it more than the babies would, right?
Right. Well, there really aren't official tours. You have to know someone to get in. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pam, this was so much fun. Why don't you close out the show with Grungetta?
Okay. Listen, you should eat your pasta. It'll make you a nice, healthy person. It's my favorite. I love rigatoni with red sauce, and you should too.
And you
That's
said
great.
sauce, which I love.
Yeah.
Some people won't, but I do. Thank you so much, Pam. This was an honor, and you are so lovely.
Thanks,
Ciao.
Mark. Lisa Marie. Ciao.
For more related topics in this series, please visit our YouTube channel, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America.
For more information on Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America and how to join, please visit osdia.org. Please also follow us on social media. The Italian America show is sponsored by Full Sponsorship, Cento Fine Foods, Trust Your Family with Our Family, the Bianchi Law Group, Dr. K, the Management Professor, the authors of the #1 international best-selling cookbook, Don't Cut the Basil, Dr. Mark D'Annunzio, National 4th Vice President, Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America. The Grand Lodges from the following states: New York, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland. Long Shot Productions, Get Back in the Game. ACMT, Excellence in Aerospace Manufacturing.